Good morning, folks.
How's it going?
Coming to you from a beautiful day in Winnipeg, Manitoba. My husband's out cutting the grass and getting some yard work done. We're going on a little trip, but I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. You've joined us mid-section of a Paintapalooza. We are big into a Saturday morning paint-a-thon. And this morning,
today we are showcasing Crinoline.
DIY color Crinoline. I honestly just figured out what a beautiful color it is. And I thought for fall, if you can see, we've got some projects done here already. It's such a great neutral, and even into winter. It's a beautiful color. So we are doing everything Crinoline today. We've got on this side projects left to be done. Some of these will need to be distressed yet. We'll get to that
some
probably.
Some will distress, some will probably just keep as is, because like we said, this color, it's just
beautiful.
So nice.
I just am enjoying the simplicity of it. Like really, it's just beautiful. Like in these little picture frames, whatever. We've got an assortment of things. Even these small little frames, like it just completely transformed them. So if you just want to stick with us, we're going to get right to it.
Sounds good. So we need to paint up these black guys to start, eh?
Yeah, so what I did on some of these ones that I knew we would want to let distress, I took some little black dress, DIY little black dress.
Oh yeah.
Some of the things I just went into my spray station and sprayed them. But some of these that I just want, the detail, just wanted to highlight the detail afterwards. I just went over with little black dress, and then of course with big top. I should get a big top out.
Oh yeah, show them the big top. It's the big top is just so nice. If you haven't ever used it, this little bird I'm painting, originally from HomeSense.
How much was it?
It was $9.99 originally. I don't know. Do you remember where you picked this guy up?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our big top, which is our top, like our top coat, the DIY sells. You either have to, when you're finished your product, you either have to top coat them with this or any polyurethane if you have something in your cupboard that you want to use up, or white or wax them, either clear wax or white wax. Or even dark wax if you were doing a lot, but usually when I use dark wax, I'm just highlighting things. So clear wax usually first, even if I'm going to dark wax or white wax, I would coat everything with clear wax first.
Do you want something underneath here so that we don't, or it's no big deal?
I'm gonna check these.
You don't want to keep those, really?
Oh look, there's a nice hunk of foam.
Oh, there you go.
I'll just set that down.
That reminds me of that house we had in Moose. Remember when we brought that house and there were fake flowers all over the backyard?
Oh, they were everywhere, like in the trees and it was amazing. We pulled fake flowers for quite a long time.
For years, like they were grown right in.
Yeah, but they did the job. So where do you think we went last night?
Well, some people are going to Rainbow Stage to see a show. No, where did you go?
We went to Celebrations Dinner Theater, which is kind of along that same line.
Pass me something else.
They had Mamma Mia on.
Oh, okay.
And here, there's this thing too. Let's get you some more birds or something.
Yeah.
We went with some friends that we've been friends with since before we were married. And we had a really, really nice time. It was featuring ABBA music.
So how would you rate the show?
Well, it was just fun to be with. We had a nice dinner and it was, good company. And yeah, the show was good. The music and the acting was very good. Yeah.
Well, last night we made hamburgers and stuff, and then we watched an episode of Dateline. I don't know if there's any Dateline fanatics here, but this one was so good. It was the Canadian, I never actually caught the last 20 minutes, I still need to finish it. It's the Canadian one, the only Canadian one I've ever seen, about that colonel that was like going into ladies' homes, single girls' homes, and stealing their underwear.
Oh.
Remember, from Trenton?
Oh, yeah.
What was his name? Russell something or
I
other?
remember that. Yes,
I mean, in the end, he murdered 2 ladies.
Oh.
But it was fascinating.
It took them a while to find him out.
Yeah, I mean, finally they had, this one girl, this Jessica, was missing, and they figured out what kind of a car he was driving. It was a black, a black car, and so they did a stop, like, because it was all, he was getting these girls all on the same highway, they all lived in the same neighborhood kind of thing, so they figured he was local, and they did a checkpoint, and he was in the same type of car, and they followed him, and blah blah blah, and he eventually confessed.
Oh man, I love that show. That's another favorite of ours.
It's an interesting one. Hey, we got this little guy so we've had our first YouTube video do very well. It was a thrift haul video, and I remember we found this one at the MCC, this bird here.
Yeah.
Okay, but speaking of thrift haul videos, tell them,
One coat.
yeah, one coat is done. So tell them about your Electrolux.
What is it called? Electrolux is a vacuum.
Oh.
This is Electro-Home.
Electro.
Okay, so I've been really quite sick the last little while. My husband and I, Dave, we were out cooking at our church camp, and all of a sudden he got quite sick. Like, he never even got to do what he was planning to do. He spent the first day just in the cabin because he wasn't well at all. So I kind of carried on because we were kind of short on staff that week. But by the next day, well, first of all, we realized this was not a good place for him to be when you're sick and you're in a hot cabin and stuff. So we decided we were going to go home. Well, no sooner did we get home, and I got whatever it was well, it turned out it was COVID. And
it was COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, you got tested.
Yeah, and
like just one of the at-home tests.
Yeah, and anyhow, I got really sick. He got better quicker than I did then, but I continued to just kind of not really get over it. So you can still, like, I never have a good voice. If you wonder about my voice, can I tell them my answer?
If you want to tell them, you can tell them. Well, I think you're harder on your voice than others are, though.
Maybe, but it always feels weak to me. About how many years ago?
5 years ago?
No, it was 2014. So 9 years ago.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah, time flies. I actually had 2 major things happen to me. That I had a brain tumor, and I had to have that removed, and thank the Lord it was not cancerous. And when they were doing the surgery on that, they realized they had trouble getting the tube down my throat because I had such incredibly huge goiters. I knew I had the goiters. So they right away made an appointment to take those out. So I had that done, and ever since I've had those done, my voice has been weaker. Like I at first I couldn't even really speak at all. Like I couldn't, had no volume. Mm-hmm. But since then my voice has not been very strong. So then when I get a cold or COVID or things like that, I'm even worse. So anyhow, that's why I used to have a better voice.
But with us making new YouTube videos, my plan is to get us microphones. So next time you hear us doing one of these, should be better audio for you.
Oh, that would be good.
But all that's to say about the Electrolux.
Oh, the Electro-Home. Yes, the Electro-Home. Okay, so I don't know if you caught that video or not, but because I love to thrift, I should just quickly say, first of all, what I'm doing here. Because I want to wet distress these particular ones back, and they don't have any color underneath that I want to keep, I took some little black dress, DIY little black dress, and I went over the high parts, like on this key and on that, whatever you call that wall bracket thing. And when I get to this, I put some IOD molds on. Oh, yeah. So I went over them with black and some big top. And then when the reason I put the big top on is because this is water soluble paint. If I wipe back on the top layer, it could possibly take off the second layer too.
Yeah.
So the big top protects that, so I won't go past the black then. So anyhow, now you know what I'm doing. I'm just, and everything looks so messy.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the
Electro home.
Okay, so if you were watching, I was sick, but
Oh, yeah.
I get on Facebook.
Oh yeah, it doesn't keep a sick person off the internet.
That's right. On Facebook.
Oh, this is still kind of.
Yeah, it is wet.
Okay.
But
I
just
hope I'm
gently
not
do
ruining
it. No, just go gently over it.
I think okay.
If you want
Squished
me to
it
do
a bit.
that. Okay, why don't you dry some of these and I'll do it?
Well, I don't mind doing that.
Okay,
I just
just
squished it when I was picking it up.
It's only in
Okay.
one spot, it'll be fine.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So, while I'm laying on the couch, of course, you scroll through your Facebook feeds. And because I have liked several, this is a good tip for you guys. If you have thrift stores in your area, it's a good idea to go on Facebook and like them.
Yeah.
Because then when they post things, it comes up.
And also if they have special sales and stuff,
Exactly.
you'll get notified.
Exactly. So lo and behold, I have this, there's a little town south of Winnipeg. It only takes me half an hour right from where we live on the north side of the city. And this is on the south side of the city, this little town. It's an MCC as well in the little town of Niverville. And on the Facebook page it came up that they had just posted this Electra Home circa 701. It's like an old-fashioned hi-fi. It was very beautiful in my mind. Totally MCC, beautiful straight lines, teak wood, and it said it had really good sound. So I said to my husband, who was feeling bitter at that point, you know, that isn't dry yet.
No,
Maybe we
it's
should
not
leave
dry.
that one. Yeah, leave it.
Okay.
And you could go dry some of these and we can give them second coats. I said to my husband, oh, I feel terrible, but do you think we could, could you drive me out there and we could go look at this thing? And he's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yep. So we did. We made the trip out there and I saw it and it was absolutely beautiful. And when she put the sound on, it was like, oh my goodness. Like, I was shocked because this particular piece was unveiled for the 1967 Expo.
100 years of Canada being a country.
Yeah, Electro Home, it was like their signature piece that they wanted to unveil. So I bought it. What do you think I paid?
Well, I know what you paid. Guys, what do you think she paid? If you saw our video, it's called like Big Spenders because that was our one big ticket purchase.
We don't usually spend
Yeah, we don't
that much
usually
on
spend.
a
Usually a big purchase for us is like $20 or something. So on this piece, she paid $500. $500. And then she went around. She did nothing to it. It had a scratch and all. Listed it on.
The reason I did nothing to it, and like I like to refinish furniture, and it would have been an easy one because of all the straight lines and everything. But I thought, you know, someone who's going to buy this might have their own views on how they want.
Well, it's a collector's item,
yes,
right?
and I would have used the teak oil, which I think is probably the best. Like, you know, sanded it down and then just put teak oil. But I thought you just never know, so I'm going to try sell it as is.
Yeah. So she listed it on Facebook Marketplace for $3,000.
Well, because I had
And
no idea.
This was exactly a week ago you did this, right?
Exactly a week
yeah,
ago.
she listed it on the Saturday. Today is a Saturday. Yeah, she listed it for the $3,000 to see what kind of a response she might get, and I think you wrote open to offers on there.
Oh yeah, because I mean I had no idea, and it was actually very hard to find pricing online for it. Anything that had sold had taken the price off already, you know.
Okay.
So I didn't really have a good idea of what it was worth. So anyhow, I put it for $3,000, and after a day, a lot of people were looking. They were like, I think it was about, in the end, about 900 and some looks, you know.
Oh, that's, yeah.
But not that many people that actually responded.
Well, had anybody responded at that point?
A couple.
Okay.
But, you know, tire kicker kind of things, eh?
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I just thought, well, you know, obviously that's too much, so let's go down. So I put 1, 2, 3, meaning open to, I guess, like, I don't know what I want, open to offers.
Open to offers.
And within a second.
A second?
Honestly.
Are you sure? Like,
It
she's
was
misexaggerating.
right away.
Okay,
It was right
okay.
away. This fellow came through and said he offered me $1,500.
Oh.
Yeah, so I said, sure. I haven't done anything to
That's
it.
nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, so I said, sure. So he said he would come, and he was going to come just before we went off to our celebrations. But then he emailed back about a half hour later and said, you know, I should have done my research first, and I think I'm overpaying you. Because I'm not a shop, and I don't know if he's planning to flip it or what he's planning to do. So then I said, okay, that's fine. What would you be willing to offer? So we settled on $1,100. So that still was not bad.
That's still a $600 profit.
Yeah, and I didn't do anything to it.
No, it was just a drive out. Well, so that's a really good flip.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's a good, like if I'd have held out longer, what they would really be worth. Some people recommended that we get in touch with the Kitchener.
Oh yeah, the Kitchener buy and sells, and because that's where it was originally designed and unveiled.
And made.
Okay, made.
The designer is from there.
So it might have a higher value of it. It probably is worth a lot more than that, but
I mean, then you gotta get it out there.
A bird in the hand is worth more than, what is it? Than two in the bush. Than two in the bush. So,
yeah. I mean, to me, it was just kind of the fun, the thrill of finding something that, like, I thought it was beautiful, and then passing it on to somebody who would really appreciate it. And the sound was so good that I got a kick out of it. It was 2 young guys, and
at the MCC.
No, that bought it.
It was 2 young guys.
Well, it was 1 young guy, but he bought someone with him.
To help. It was heavy. Yeah. I had to take it out of the car with my husband and my dad, and the 3 of us had it, and it was heavy.
But as soon as he heard the sound, he said, I'll buy it. It really had beautiful sound for this old
So he might just keep it, like he never asked.
He said he was going to keep it.
Yeah, like it would have been a really cool piece in your living room.
Yeah. Like if I had room, I would have loved it, but I mean, it doesn't go with our stuff.
But to find some old records and put them on, I mean, it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
To do that, I think.
Yeah, it would. It's definitely will be a conversation piece for him in his home.
Oh yeah.
So, and all I know about the piece, they weren't able to give me any detail in the Niverville MCC except that it was donated by a local family. They didn't really know who. So.
Yeah. I wonder where it came from. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we are. Okay, we got something dry.
These ones I think are dry.
Is this dry?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can dry that off.
We might need a bit of a third coat.
So have you got any plans today?
No.
Yes?
Today, no other plans, I don't think. Just, I need to... So it's a Saturday morning, and I think she just drilled it into our heads that Saturday mornings were for cleaning. And I didn't clean the bathroom yet. I came up and did this instead. But I want to clean the house, and I don't know, I'm going for coffee with a friend tomorrow. But yeah, no big plans today. So, do you guys have plans today?
Well, some friends of ours are downsizing, and they had a beautiful home, and they've sold it, and they bought a smaller home that is much more appropriate for this stage of life.
Whoops. Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if we should think about that, but so far, no. I'm too much.
Where would you store all your Freddy's Girls stuff?
Exactly. But anyhow, they're working, the place they bought is they're doing some rooms to it, like they're going to make it beautiful, opening up some walls, and we're going to have a big, beautiful kitchen with a big island, and so we're going to take a drive over there.
Oh.
And see what stage they're at now.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I do love this color, I tell you. I think Crinoline has not had it stay in the shade.
No, we are going to make it sell out. I don't know about that, but it is lovely. I think these birds are pretty much... You spray... Oh, these are the ones I got, actually.
Yes, yeah.
See, I found this one last week. I recognize it at the Prairie Crocus. So it's on that same video as the Electro... Oh. Oh my goodness.
What were you calling it?
Electrolux.
Oh yeah, that's about it. That one can get dried too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I think these are going to look all really nice together in a nice display too.
Oh yeah. Like it's just something when you put them all together. They just stand out. But look at this one, guys. Isn't it cute? The pigs.
That's like solid heavy. Like,
Oh,
is
it is heavy.
cast iron or something
I
like
don't
that?
know, but it's the real
Like this
deal.
bird is cast iron.
Okay. Yeah, it's heavy too. So the other day after church, my husband and I went to the, okay, so after church it was a message on loving your neighbor as yourself. And we went to the grocery store to pick just a few things up. And as we were walking in, there was this girl full on crying in the entryway at the No Frills there, just close by. And it's so funny because it's so easy to just walk by somebody like that. It's a stranger. And in our society, you know, we're so individualized. But my husband, he comes from like a different culture, and I think like in his culture, strangers, people your age are either brother or sister, elders are either mother or father. And so it's a lot easier for him to just sort of like say, hey, are you okay? And he did, and she was just having this panic attack, so I went and talked to her. I mean, and in the end, I just got her to take some deep breaths, and then she couldn't do anything because she was having this panic attack. She just needed to take some deep breaths, and we did that together. And then I guess her boss, she was like working at the nail salon, and her boss had just kind of yelled at her and stuff, and she said she felt like they weren't treating her very fairly, and she told us her story quickly, but she was rushing because she was going off to cut somebody else's hair afterwards. But it was just like, I was just thinking, it's so easy to walk by something like that, and we spent 5 minutes with her and got her calm and stuff, and then she was able to carry on with her day.
Wow.
You know?
That is, I know. It doesn't take a whole lot, but it just takes someone taking the effort, right?
No, I know, and you just think like, oh, we don't know her, and you know, like sometimes you're just scared of strangers or whatever, but like, what can they do to you, right?
Well, exactly.
So it was good. What else?
I think that's good.
Okay.
You could maybe get another bag, or take that one out, and maybe start wet distressing some of those. Like I'm thinking not a deep wet distress, as like a.
Okay.
Like I'm just loving this color so much. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I mean.
You want to show it off.
Yeah, normally we can do some pretty deep wet distresses, or this, I don't know. We can always take more off, right?
Oh yeah.
If we decide we don't.
Let's get this one out of the way. So maybe I can wet distress this one then?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. I think so. Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh. How she looks.
And it doesn't have to be every single.
Every single
or just
flower.
Yeah, it could be just.
A few of them.
Yeah. or lighter on them or something. Okay, that bird is coming along. He needs a little bit more coats, but well, you know, it's interesting when you talk about like her husband. His name is Tapiwa, and he's from Zimbabwe. And when we first met him, he would talk about so and so, and oh, they're my cousin, you know, and I would think they really were his cousin, the way we talk about cousins. But then I started to realize that like their net for relative or familial
like your cousins,
is wider than ours.
Your cousins are your brothers, especially if it's your dad's
Like
brothers' kids. Those are all brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
That's what they would call
So
them.
then I would say, well, no, is that your real cousin? The way we would see a cousin.
Yeah, but yeah, because that's just our perspective, right?
Yeah.
But we all have a different one.
Yeah. No, we've learned a lot from our intercultural experiences here with him.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
It was very good. To learn about the world and the way everybody else sees it is not the way necessarily we see it. Like Kaale and I both grew up in the same small town, or on farm,
tiny little farm, yeah.
And did not have very much cultural perspective, really.
No.
So this has been good for us.
No. Well, and all culture is man-made, right? Like there's no perfect culture out there.
Right, I guess that is true, yeah.
Yeah.
It's how people have developed it, I guess, right? And passed it on over time.
Yeah. What do you think of I'm trying to do it a bit lighter.
Yeah, and then, okay, now this is something that other people, I'm sure, have realized over time. When you're wet distressing, sometimes it looks kind of gray and cloudy. So then get a clean piece of rag and go over it again to get that off.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because the rag kind of clogs up with paint, and then you're just spreading it around rather than actually.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, there, you're getting a much more vivid. And then, of course, when you put your either wax or, I think in this case it'll be Big Top, that brings the color even more vivid. It brings it back again.
Mm-hmm.
On some of the darker colors, when you put Big Top over them, people are like, oh my goodness, or wax, it's like, oh, it's so dark. But then when it dries, it settles back to something closer to the original, but not quite, but it's more vivid than the original, but it's not as dark as when you first put it on, when it dries. Okay, it's hard to get this little head on this guy.
I know, it's kind of tricky. I was
I
thinking
have to come back and do some touch-ups on the heads.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right.
Okay, those things are drying. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe do a little bit of wet distressing on some of those originals.
Those picture frames. Yeah.
Because these need to dry a bit more.
And then some of these picture frames, you end up selling them as sets, don't you? Or do you sell them individually?
Well, I'll do either or, but one lady bought about 9 of them.
Yeah.
And they were all painted in the same color. I think it was in apothecary.
Yeah.
And I think they were white wax, maybe distressed white wax, I can't remember. But she bought all 9 of them for a baby shower. She wanted to have like pictures of the parents and stuff like that when they were babies, and so she loved that they all matched.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so much nicer than, getting them at the dollar store or something, right? Like they're just, I don't know.
Yeah, and you can, some of these are not super quality, but some of them are like really heavy, nice frames,
Yeah.
Like, and I do plan to, before I ever put anything out for sale, I find artwork, something that can fit in there that
just make
showcases it better.
Should I do it along here?
Yeah, a little bit, sure. Oops.
Yeah, this wet distressing is just fun.
Yeah, it is kind of sad as well. These guys, they all need another coat. That is one thing about a lighter color like this. You might not get away with just 2 coats.
No.
Although that was only 2 coats.
Yeah. I mean, and if you're distressing it, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to bring that a little bit.
I don't know. Do you think I should do a bit more, or
Maybe a little at the bottom
Okay.
there. Maybe on this side here. Sometimes I have to take a step back and look at it from a distance and decide where I
it
could
starts
use more.
and stop?
Yeah. Not gonna do a whole lot on this guy.
No.
Keep his natural beauty.
Natural. Oh yeah, that's a lovely one.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I all of a sudden decided that crinoline was such a nice color.
Yeah,
I'm
like
loving it.
why you pulled it out of the cupboard.
Yeah. I think I was thinking fall and, you know, fall having
Yeah.
something more neutral. I was thinking of neutral.
I mean, because you were in
colors.
the White Swan.
Oh, yeah.
You were in the White Swan fan club.
And I still
And
have-
last time we ordered paint, like how many White Swans did we
a
order?
lot of white swan.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it.
I mean,
like-
and White Swan, it's probably a better Christmassy color.
yeah, I think it's great for
I mean, it's a
Christmas.
whiter white,
Yeah,
right?
it's great for Christmas, yeah.
This one's a little warmer.
Yeah, yeah. This is, I think, really actually very nice for fall. But like it is like a winter white too, right? Like it's a warm white.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Okay, I'm just giving this guy a little bit of distressing, and then he'll get big topped in the end. Don't usually do the big topping or waxing on camera, because there's so many other things to do, and it just seems like that's
Not the most interesting.
yeah, not the most interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not terrible, but
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
that looks great.
yeah, once that dries up. And another thing I've decided, I'm not always real careful, depending how easy it is to take the back out. If there's a glass in here, sometimes I just paint over it. And then I take my trusty little, I don't know where he went, but my razor blade, and
Oh,
it just
yeah.
comes off, this DIY paint just comes off so easy. That one I think I've already big topped. It's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
stay-
Yeah. I mean,
It's
you've
gonna
already
stay
got
clean.
this little decorative piece in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, you can do this one if you want.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
yeah. I guess that one probably shouldn't,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
needs
think
another
it's-
color
is it-
before,
Oh, it's dry, I guess.
before
Before we can
you distress
do
it.
anything to it.
Yeah. I just love this DIY paint and how it can change the personality of
Yeah.
pretty much
anything.
anything.
Like yeah, you can paint it on anything basically,
Take some old, completely outdated frame.
and you don't
And
really
bring it
need
back
to do
to life.
anything
Yeah.
to get your piece
Yeah,
ready much.
Oh, well, we wash everything.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah,
you
but
don't.
that is like any other paint I've used, always requires a sanding process. And this one does not. Like you have to kind of sand and get rid of that sheen on.
Yeah, to get it to stick.
Yeah, whereas this
properly, or
DIY paint, like it sticks to everything.
Stick to anything.
But I do a cleaning, like I take everything over to the sink and just wipe things down.
Yeah.
Just soap and water for the most part, unless there's a lot of grime and stuff on it. But that's not normally the case. Soap and water is usually enough.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that's a pretty successful
Yeah,
Paintapalooza.
I agree.
We haven't done a Paintapalooza video yet.
So maybe we should line everything up and
Show it all
everybody
off.
what the finished product.
Well, here's the other nice thing about the DIY paint. Like I see I'm making a bit of a mess on the countertop
Yeah.
here, but it just comes off
Oh
so
yeah,
easy.
it does. I know. I used to worry me. I usually normally do put a big towel down,
Mhm.
but just so everybody is aware, I'm gonna let these dry a touch more, and then they will all get big topped. And maybe we'll give a finished picture once everything's been big topped.
Yeah, we'll show you guys the final product, but please subscribe to our channel, comment down below, let us know what other videos you'd like us to do, anything you'd like to learn about. We try to release 2 videos a week, one of us at the thrift store, and then one of us you know, doing some projects here and sort of trying to teach you something or give you some ideas. So just let us know. But yeah, subscribe and give us a comment. Let us know your favorite part. I like to hear where people are watching from too. Yeah, and I think we told you we're in Canada. We're in Winnipeg.
We are right in the center of Canada.
Yeah. Well, is that it then, or do we have anything else to show them?
I think that's it, you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for watching. We're just having so much fun doing this. See you next time.
Bye.